This is Anadi Madhu. I've come up with another video. This time I'm going to give you a lecture on smart technology. This time the smart technology is a perpetual motion device. The perpetual motion device has been created with the help of magnet and current based magnet and a rotational wheel. So I'll show you the entire device and then I'll give you the theory behind it, and based on that you can understand how this device has become perpetual motion device. So perpetual motion device, what do you mean by perpetual motion device? It means that once you give it a motion to that particular device, that device will remain in that motion. So according to Newton's first law, I guess, that if a body is in state of motion, it will be in state of motion until and unless if you don't give it a opposite force to restrict, or even if a body is in state of standstill, it will be in standstill forever until and unless if you don't give it a force to move that particular device. So that is Newton's first law, and based on that it says that either you can give that motion or onto that particular device with the help of electricity, with the help of spring force, with the help of magnetic force, and can create, or with the help of balancing a center of mass of that particular device such that it balances the coefficient of friction of that particular device motion, and that device will be in perpetual motion forever if you can able to balance with the center of mass of that particular device. But anyhow, the device which I have, that device is having a change in center of mass, but that change in center of mass has not been balanced by a counterweight, but it has been balanced by a magnetic force, and that magnetic force has been created with the help of electricity, and that electricity is producing a anti magnetic force such that a repulsive magnetic force such that it gives a initial small change in force in the rotational direction such that that device goes on rotational motion forever. So I'll show you the device, and whatever I've explained in verbal way, it will create a lot of confusion. So I'll restate my ideology once again. So I'll show you the device now. Perpetual motion device. So this is a magnet. It has a counterweight. This magnet is acting as a counterweight, and this under this magnet, this base is having a battery operated electrical magnetic force creation. So when you do like this, it will create an initial force in both the direction, and this initial force actually creates a perpetual motion. But since this initial force is so small in nature, it has to be given a initial change in potential energy of that wheel such that it can reach a particular rotational force, and if there is any decrease in rotational force because of friction, that small decrease in rotational force will be counter by magnetic force. So whatever reduction in rotational force happens, it will be countered by magnetic force, and that magnetic force has been created by electricity with the help of 3 batteries. So all we need to do that, we have to make this counterweight to reach a particular height such that it will gain a considerable amount of potential energy, and if whatever minimum potential energy decrease happens, and that potential energy can be regained with the help of magnetic force. So the counterweight has to be put at least like this, and then once released, it will go for perpetual motion forever. Since the friction will come into play, so these hinges are not this cylindrical shape thing has not been hinged, because hinging will create more friction. So this has been allowed to rotate freely such that it can further balance the friction with the change in center of mass of the wheel. So anyway, and whatever reduction happens even after that, that will be countered by magnetic force generated by the 3 batteries. So this entire, I am stopping it. So this is a magnet. This thing is a magnet. This magnet, when once coming in contact with the electrical force, electricity, it creates a slight change in see, the slight push is getting with the help of electric magnet, and that electric magnet is running by 3 batteries. So this is the entire theory behind perpetual motion of the perpetual motion of the wheel. So this wheel will be completely in to and fro motion forever, until and unless if there is no dry out of battery. Once battery goes out, then we have to change the battery to create once again perpetual motion. Now I'll show you in terms of equations how these things are happening and why this wheel is rotating forever. So stay tuned with me. So I have developed the equation. First I have drawn the rotating wheel. This is having a magnet attached, so the magnetic equation will be Fb force, if the magnetic force is Fb because of natural magnet, and if an artificial magnet has been created with the running of electricity of current I and length L, then the magnetic force generated Fb1 will be ILB sin theta. So I'll redraw and show the Fb1 magnetic force, ILB sin theta. So B1 is the magnetic force created by current, and the force is in the perpendicular direction. Now Fb1 minus Fb will create an additional change in magnet force. So you can see now this additional magnet force Fb minus Fb1 should be counterbalanced by the small reduction in the frictional force. Small reduction happens due to friction, which is mu mg mu. So this mg mu has to be countered by this Fb minus Fb1, and if this is countered properly, then this entire wheel will be in to and fro motion forever. And obviously the force which is generating due to rotation of the wheel with the magnet as a counterbalance, that force is F is equal to ma. Ma is equal to ma minus mu mg. This A is r omega by t. So you can understand this force which is generating and it is countered by a frictional force. That frictional force has to be balanced by the change in magnetic force from natural magnet and artificial magnets due to flow of current. So if this counter force being created incrementally forever, then this rotational motion of this wheel be happening forever. This wheel will be in to and fro motion forever. So this is the only logic behind which this entire wheel is in perpetual motion, and I believe you have understood, and if you so, please subscribe my channel Ronnie's Identity in YouTube, and that's all. Bye.